Welcome to week 190 of my reno. This week, I'm baking some sourdough bread, building a key holder that'll go by the front door, and checking my garden. Let's get cracking. The entirety of week 190 happens today on Sunday. I'm getting low on sourdough, so it's time to make some more. I start by weighing out 15 grams of salt. Into my mixing bowl goes 500 grams of starter. The remaining starter is transferred to a clean container where I feed it with 300 grams of bread flour and 200 grams of water. I mark the starter with a line and today's date. The line allows me to see when the starter has doubled in volume, and the date lets me know how much time has elapsed since the last feeding. Back in my mixing bowl, I add 750 grams of bread flour to the starter along with 15 grams of salt and around 500 ml of water. I hand knead this mixture for about 10 minutes until the gluten develops. The dough can now rest in a warm spot until doubled in size. Out in the backyard, my garden is starting to take off. I have 3 varieties of tomatoes, ranging from cherry tomatoes to salsa tomatoes to large slicing tomatoes. I'm growing bell peppers, jalapenos, and banana peppers, as well as half a dozen herbs and several varieties of cucumbers. So far, the drip system and raised beds are making the plants very happy. Down on the ground, I have several piles where larger plants such as this Atlantic giant pumpkin can grow and spread out. By mid-afternoon, the dough has doubled in size, so I cut it in half, shape it, and put it into these bannetons for the second proofing. While the bread proofs, I break down these pallets and discard them in a bag stir. I tend to always have a few pallets from shipments and hate throwing them away, so if you ever need one for any reason, shoot me a note, the price is free. In the wood shop, I turn to making a small box that will be recessed in the wall where my old mail slot used to reside. The idea is to have this be a place for hanging keys at the front door, tucked neatly into the wall and out of the way. Some glue and brad nails will hold this firmly together. I have fixed the finishing trim with more glue and some finishing nails. With the assembly complete, I tap it into the wall. The bread is still rising, so I go on my evening run. As I edit this video, it's winter, and I'm really missing these green fields. At long last, the loaves are done. They turned out okay. Not the best pan spring, not the worst. I also could have baked them a bit longer. The crust isn't as crunchy as it could be, but all in all, these loaves will still be great in sandwiches and as toast. That's a wrap for week 190. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, happy renovating.